welcome to our first webisode of Date Night. I'm Andrea.
And I'm David, and we're glad you're here.
Date Night started for us a long time ago when our kids, who are now teenagers, were babies. And we would find a good babysitter, and selfishly we didn't want her to babysit for someone else, so we would book her as our standing babysitter for Saturday nights. And that forced us to go out every weekend.
And back when the kids were babies, I had a crazy travel schedule. I'd leave on Sunday night and I'd come home on Thursday night. So having a date with my wife was something I looked forward to.
And while he was away, I was home with all these little babies during the week. At one point, we had 3 kids, 16 months old and younger. And then the 4th one was born, and I had 4 babies, 3 years old and younger. It was crazy. It was not very glamorous, but Saturday nights, I'd get dressed up. Whether we were going out to the movies or to dinner or whatever, I would have on lipstick. My hair would be clean and blown dry, which was very exciting. And it was so cute. When the boys were little, I'd come down the stairs after I was dressed, and they'd all stand at the bottom of the stairs and just look and go, "Oh, you look so beautiful." So it was definitely worth it. Over the last 15 or 16 years, date night has evolved into something it's a regular thing for us, but it's not a weekly date. What we do is we look at the calendar, and a lot of times we'll have events on the weekends with other people or with the kids, and so we'll go, "Oh look, there's a free Friday night here or a free Saturday night there. Let's book it so it's just the 2 of us and we can catch up." Sometimes it's fun not to be mom, not to be dad, right?
Yeah.
And just be who I remember he used to be when we started dating.
And I remember who she used to be when we first started dating. And so Friday night turned out to be date night this week, so it was really a real TGIF moment for us.
And I had been trying to launch my new website all week, every day last week. We thought today was going to be the day, and then there would be 9 more things that I would find that needed to be reprogrammed or recoded, and I was ready to blow my brains out by Wednesday. And by Friday, everything was all squared away, and we launched the website at 5:30, and we had dinner reservations coincidentally at 6:30, which was so cool. It was awesome. And Fridays tend to be cool date nights for us because our boys are wiped out from the week when they come home on Fridays, so they're too tired to get up in each other's business when we're out on a date. Sometimes on Saturday nights that's not the case, and we get phone calls that there's something brewing at the house, which frankly there's nothing I can do about if I'm sitting in a restaurant 50 miles away. But Friday nights things tend to be really low and slow and quiet at the house, so it's awesome.
Yeah, and there was a great new restaurant that we've been wanting to go to for some time. It's only about 15 minutes from the house in Wilton, Connecticut, called the Schoolhouse at Cannondale. And it's a 1-room schoolhouse. It was built in 1872, just after the Civil War. Yeah. Really kind of cute, in just in the middle of nowhere off the side of the train track. So that was
it was
fun.
So cute. There's a river behind it that sort of babbles, and you're in this little area in this tiny old schoolhouse. It's got chocolate brown walls, and the banquettes along each of the walls has this really pretty fabric with chocolate brown, and I think it was light blue, just really simple. And the restaurant looked even prettier as the sun started to set and the lights came up a little bit in the restaurant, and it just looked so pretty.
And it wasn't noisy, even though it was small. And what was really nice is we sat down and we opened up the menu, and what a nice treat. It said the menu was for the riser party. Which was really nice.
It was. It made us feel really welcome, which was nice, especially since it was our first time at the restaurant. So the chef, Tim Labant, he does farm to table brilliantly, and he uses the finest ingredients from sustainable Connecticut farmers and really good, passionate farmers around the nation. And he uses sustainable fish and all natural meats with no hormones or antibiotics. And then what he does is brilliant.
And a lovely wine list, so it was easy to pick something nice to celebrate that night from launching your new website. And then the most wonderful thing when we saw the menu was chocolate souffle.
We went all the way down to the bottom of the menu, and that was just staring us in the face.
Yeah, so 25 minutes to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have to wait 25 minutes if you're going to have chocolate souffle for it to bake. So we were like, that's first on our list pretty much. Now we can sort of build our own dining choices around that. So, highlights before the chocolate souffle?
Well, I wanted the chocolate souffle to start with and end, but you wouldn't let me
You
do that.
You tried to order it.
I tried to order it that way.
And then the waiter laughed and
Yeah,
said,
he did.
"Oh, definitely, absolutely."
Exactly. So,
but what are you really having?
So I started off with some foie gras with bacon gastrique, right? And had little pieces of bacon in it, which was absolutely fabulous. And with these little buckwheat biscuits that were in there, which was terrific. And yours was fabulous. I loved yours.
Yeah, I started with braised octopus with squid ink fettuccine, and it was delectable. The octopus was fresh and tender. Sometimes it can be chewy and not so great. It was delicate. It was beautiful, and the fettuccine was perfect. It was just delicious.
Yeah. And if any of you out there, any of you guys out there are lucky enough to have a wife like mine, I get to eat usually sometimes half, but at least a quarter of hers. So I sort of get to have 2 dinners, and we usually want to order the other person's dinner anyways when we start to look at things.
Yeah.
And then you had,
oh my God,
pork tenderloin,
oh my
right?
God, I had pork tenderloin. It was the best pork tenderloin I've ever had. It came out and there was no crust on it. So of course the first thought is, how did you cook this if there's no crust on the outside of it? It was done sous vide, so it was braised. It was done in a liquid so that there was no crust. You didn't need a knife. Sweet and delicious, and it was with mustard greens and smashed rutabaga underneath it. It was so delicious. There were just little treats on the plate. I don't know if it was kumquats that night. I thought it was supposed to be pickled cauliflower, but I don't think that was what was on the plate. But if you put the bite together with all those things, I was like across the table, like, here you go, and he'd be like, "Oh, this is so
it was
good."
fabulous. It was really good.
Big smiles.
I finished mine, and then I take some of mine because she'd give me this big forkful. So good.
You had?
I had squab, and it was really,
good.
really good. It was cooked perfectly, and I love taking the little ends and eat them holding with your hands because the skin is so crunchy, which is good. I shared that.
You did.
Yeah?
You did.
Okay.
It was good, but I liked mine better. Yeah. And maybe you liked mine better too.
Yeah, but I had enough of yours, so it was delicious. And then delicious. And then we had more chocolate souffle. No, the first chocolate souffle coming out.
So then the chocolate souffle came out.
It was unbelievable.
You can see in the corner the chocolate souffle. Under it are painted swatches of 2 different kinds of chocolate. And we know that because Chef Tim came out a couple of times and circulated the little restaurant to make sure that everything was great at everybody's table. And then when he came over again, we talked to him and asked him about the souffle. And he said it's made with 2 kinds. They use Valrhona chocolate.
We tried to guess.
Thumbs up. Yeah. And they use 2 kinds, 74% and 40%. And so there was a
light and dark.
Painted just a swash on the plate that you could actually lift up and eat with the souffle. Souffle.
Oh my God! I've never had souffle like that. Maybe many years ago when we ate at Roy's in Hawaii, it came close, but not even. This was beyond delicious.
The top was this very, very thin crust, and then you dug in, and it was melted. It was melted. Oh. It was just exquisite. It was warm. There was mint ice cream on the plate, and also a little cup of melted chocolate that I used with the mint ice cream. The mint ice cream was nice and refreshing. But the souffle, oh my God, that's all I can say. It was the best chocolate souffle I've ever had. Maybe the best dessert
No, it was pretty close to the best dessert
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Definitely worth going back for.
That was a lot better.
They gave us a little report card it's a schoolhouse, so we had to grade them, right? Which they got all A pluses for, which was wonderful.
They did. It was great. The service was fabulous. Things came out. We weren't lingering forever. So the cool thing was, though, that if we were quiet, we could do the thing that we love to do best, is listen to the people at the next table and hear what's going on in their conversation. And so it was a little older couple. I think his name was Bob and her name was Sue or Susan. And they were having a really intense discussion.
Got me really warm. The conversation was really kind of warming, especially when they talked about the...
Well, they were talking about statistical significance and a feasibility study.
Yeah.
And those are totally words you should never hear on a Friday night out in a restaurant. Come on, feasibility study, statistical significance.
But
no, they were going home. They're going to have, really let it loose.
And when we came out, we saw the train, the choo-choo going by, which is really nice to see. Wasn't that nice?
It was sweet.
And we loved it so much that we made reservations to go back with some friends of ours in a few weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
And dreaming about the chocolate souffle in the meantime. So anyway, thanks for watching our first webisode. We'll catch you after our next date night. And in the meantime, we hope you spend some time doing something fun with the one you love. Oh, that's queer.
I did it anyways.
I knew you were going to do that. And I
It was done. It was over. You finished.